Good day to you all. Welcome to the fifth lecture of Shipmaster Business and Law lecture series. Today we will discuss about losses at sea. We know that due to different reasons we experience different type of losses at sea. These losses at sea can be broadly categorized in two different categories. First one we call is total loss, and the second one we call is partial loss. Let us see which loss is which type. This total loss again can be categorized into two different categories. The first one we call it actual total loss, another one is called the total constructive loss. So what is actual total loss? So actual total loss is the loss which is due to fire or due to wreckage. The ship is completely lost, right? Like I can give you an example of Titanic, right? In the Titanic, the ship sank and the ship completely the ship owner has completely lost his ship and it is underneath the sea bottom. Then another type of loss is there, total constructive loss. What is total constructive loss? It is not the actual total loss, rather it is the economic loss, right? In this total constructive loss, we need to make sure that the cost of repair of that ship is the market value of the property. So when the cost of repair is more than the market value of the property, then the ship owner will give a letter of abandonment to the underwriter, and the underwriter will fix a value of the wreck, and that type of loss is called the total constructive loss, right? Beside that, we have got another type of loss which is called partial loss, which is very common in our maritime industry. This partial loss can also be categorized into two different categories. One is particular average, another one is general average. Let us see what is particular average. Particular average is the accidental loss, right? This accidental loss can be due to a peril or any other reason, right? So, like once you have gone to a port and maybe you have hit the jetty and your ship has suffered some loss, right? So this is the particular average or accidental loss, right, which is very commonly used. We see in our day-to-day maritime industry. Then another very interesting one is general average. What is general average? It is the intentional loss. This intentional loss is due to some reason or peril at sea. The master decide that will sacrifice some cargo and will save the vessel, right? So this type of loss will falls under the general average, right? In the real world, this general average and particular average run side by side, right? So that's why all the time master need to declare general average and collect evidence all the time, right? So once you are collecting the evidence, you have to make sure that you follow the book master role in collecting evidence, right? And if you think that you need to declare a general average, obviously you need to declare it in a written format to your ship owner or ship charterer, right? So you must send a mail. Let us take an example. Suppose a peril occurred at 0400 hours and the vessel grounded in a rock. Then you use tug to get rid of that rock and went to the port of refuge, right? So in that case, the particular average will be the damage done due to the grounding, and general average will be tags and port of refuge bill, which actually you intentionally executed to save the vessel, right? So this type of loss is called the general average. So we'll discuss a bit more about general average because it is very common topic in the maritime industry. So this general average actually is not a new thing. It roots back to the 1800 BC. In the ancient Rhodian law, we find the root of general average. Then it has got the roots in the common law as well, right? So for general average, there is a law, we call it York-Antwerp rule. This law I'll discuss that York-Antwerp rule in other lecture, but this in short, this York-Antwerp rule has 7 letter rule from A to G and 23 numbered rules, right? So this rule A of the Yoav-Cantrop rule actually provide the definition of the general average. And this Yoav-Cantrop rule is not a rule which is attached all the time with the charter party. The voluntarily the shipper, ship owner, insurance actually they take that one and they attach it into the charter party, right? So once you have done a general average, the G adjuster will actually see which is general average and which is particular average, right? And once you are signing the charter party, that time all the cargo owner has to sign a general average bond, mentioning that if there is any peril or if there is any necessity, they will pay their share due to general average, right? So as per Yoav-Cantrop rule, general average has got these 5 elements, right? What is the first element? The first element is called sacrifice or expenditure, right? So to be called as a general average, you have to prove that it was either sacrifice or expenditure, right? So the sacrifice can be due to grounding. What you need to do, you need to jettison some cargo, you need to throw some cargo overboard, so this to refloat the vessel, so that can be a sacrifice. Then expenditure, just like the previous example, the cost of salvage including salvage award, cost of entering, staying and leaving the port of refuge can be termed as a general average, right? Obviously to be called it as a general average, the event has to be extraordinary. That means that event which is not usual, right? Suppose you are starting from a voyage from Malaysia to Persian Gulf, right? And you know that during June July there will be huge swell and bad weather in the Bay of Bengal, right? And but you didn't take any preparation, and due to that one you have to jettison some cargo, right? So that will not fall under the general average, because you already know that there will be some bad weather you will be experiencing during your voyage. So to be called it as general average, obviously you have to make sure that it is not usual, it is extraordinary, it is which you didn't know that thing will come, right? So this is called the general. So that thing you need to prove. Then intentional, obviously you need to make sure that the loss or sacrifice what you have done, that is intentional, right? Like so suppose you have got fire in the engine room and you have taken out all the crews from the engine room and you have discharged the CO2 cylinder, right, to extinguish fire. So that act you have done intentionally, right? So that is called the that will fall under general average. And the fourth one is the reasonable, right? So it has to be bare minimum expenses or bare minimum sacrifice, right? So suppose you have grounded, then you have gone to port of refuge, and you have fixed your hull due to grounding, right? And so that will fall under general average. But now your dry dock is also due, and you thought that let's do some dry dock here as well, right? So that dry dock expenses will not fall under the general average. So general average will only consider the bare minimum expenses or sacrifice, and to be considered it some incident as general average, obviously you have to make sure that the sacrifice or expenditure has been done for the common safety of the vessel and crew, right? So they are the 5 elements of general average. I try to make this video short. Let me know if you have got any query. I can discuss a lot about this. See you in the next lecture. Thank you very much.